Hello guys, so let's start making new prediction for next week. We start with the SPY, maybe compare it to the Qs. So let's start. This is the daily chart. You probably see something interesting here. This is the weekly chart, and this is the monthly, which almost end. So for the monthly, we can see the potential to reach the resistance at the 435, which is a good area. We have the divergence for the upside. This was an entry for the long side for reversal, but this is a reversal. You can see the indecision on the monthly basis, not doing much, and hopefully go to the 435 and retest it. There is a resistance here. You can see the wicks. So we can probably try to touch and take some um, stop losses and bounce back. If we check the weekly how it looks, how it ends, you can see it spiked to the upside and reversed to the 418, 20, 70. It tried to rest there because it's a strong resistance. You have a nice volume here, which means that we want to buy. And you can see there is a gap on the weekly here also, the 422. So it probably tried to touch there, and if we come to the daily to have a confirmation, you can see on the daily here, you can see the gap it's want to try to fill. Also there is a gap here at the 427 and 428 maybe. So this is a move for trying to close the gap. Um, and what is interesting that the option on Friday, the max span was for about 410, something like this, and it just closed here. So it means the market want to give all the buyers of the call option the entry to come in back into the market with a profit. So it took and they give a lot of profit, which is not that usual, which means that they draw them back in. So just considering it, we prefer for coming back to the 400, even to back to the 410, make them some pressure and stop losses, and try to take those liquidity off their hands. Um, let's examine how the 4-hour chart looks. You can see in the 4-hour chart, the prediction was that we're gonna hit the 417. Next target is the 421. It almost hit and didn't, and coming back to the middle zone. Momentum is positive. There is no divergence, which means we're gonna see a continuation to the upside. Next target 426. This is the algo line I wrote. This is not like a support or resistance, but usually it means when we see a break, it's gonna come to the next zone. When you see a break and close, it's gonna come to the next zone. Sometimes it's gonna take some time. And I don't like this close and I don't like this close. So be prepared for a downside. Um, but at the moment, momentum is positive coming to the upside. Um, if we look at the 1-hour chart and let's see how it looks there, make it smaller, you can see how it basically took it. Some people probably gonna see this is a big cup and handle, this is the break maybe, and maybe move to the upside, and if so, it's gonna be a big move to the 440, 450 maybe. I don't like to trade pattern, and the 200 is started to point up, which is good. We have divergence to the upside, so very nice to see it maybe come in here and move to the upside. So next zone could be even the 430, but betting on carefully on closing the gap as we saw it on the daily, and look how the price action react to those area. You can see the volume at the end of the session, the volume at the beginning of the session. So this is a move to the upside, but resting, which is nice. Do we see something else? Let me check here. There is no divergence there. You can draw probably line and see how it reacts if it's coming back to the 50. But at the moment, positive momentum, this is just a profit taking going there. No, this is it. Now let's move to the Qs. With the Qs, prediction was the 328, which was hit, and then see what happened. Immediately break and next target and break it. So maybe this is the next target, but this is a red. So going to be very careful. Momentum is nicely positive. You can see the stochastic in the overbought area, which means the buyers are strong in control. Even though the volume is low, they are in control. So no sellers is participating. And see what interesting here. I will try to do it freehand. Something, no, let's make it more accurate. If we draw there, this is, it's weakening. And we have something I probably, let's check for, we can see it there. I don't know if we're gonna have it. Yeah, you can see it here. This is the same pattern and see what happened. Not that good. So maybe we're gonna see the same pattern there. At the moment, this is indication of reversal, so be prepared. But this is a reversal. Why? Because any move to the downside can create a divergence to the upside. So not any move is the exact move where it was here. See what happened. It's moved to the downside, and because it ended up here, this is the reversal. It came with the power again, but then it lost its power. So the first move is the reversal. Second move, we have to examine to see if it has some power to the upside. So if we look it on the daily, see how it looks on the daily. Break the 6180. Next target is the 346 if you are following the Fibonacci level. And see what happened there. It closed gap here. It closed the gap here. So, and it finished in the upside. So the next target, there is a gap here and there is a gap there, guys. 360, guys, which means at the moment the Qs is leading, and this is a big move to the upside. And usually when you have a big move, you have a lift, and you can see the volume, and it's trying to stay there. So a lot of participation. This is on the overbought area, but it doesn't mean it can stay in the overbought a long time before it reverse. If we, let me check something where it was, something like this. You can see it here. long time, and then reverse, and then coming back up again. And this is the daily, guys. If we look at it, how it looks on the weekly, you can see it, same goes there, closing the gap. There is a gap here, so, and look at it here. Even on the weekly, it breaks the pattern, which means if we, this is the downtrend, this is obviously a downtrend. What we got here, this is lower high, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low, lower low, but it didn't make a lower low and then it break. So this is a shift in pattern, and then it make higher lows, a higher high, and higher lows. So lots of people participate in this move, and you see the volume. So this is just a basic break pattern, which means when you see the break, this is volume coming for the break, retest, and this is engulfing on the weekly, and you see the move. So now we're in a pattern of an uptrend. So this is it. And but you can see this is much weaker than the downtrend. So take it on consideration. If we look at it with here, if people look at it here, this is the first target, this is the second target, this is the end target, 360. And it basically almost align here, which is nice. If we look at it on the monthly, you can see it. I don't know if you can see it. This is the, let's call it super trend. I call it super trend. It's not the same as super trend. This is where it was 338.78, and the high 338.20. It almost touch. So maybe on the monthly we get a hit and then reverse, because this is very strong resistance. It doesn't mean it cannot do a week to the upside and then reverse like it did here. You can see it here. This is strong support. It hits and bounce. It hits and bounce, hits and bounce, and then failure. Like it here. All right. So for the Q's continuation, there is no divergence. It doesn't look to give us any weakness yet. But some people say it is too extended, it's too far away, which is okay. If we go to the 60 minutes, you can see this is too far away from the 200. And see what happened when it became too extended. It likes to go sideways and retreat. So this is can move to the upside there. Sorry. It can go something like this, and this sideways, and then coming back to it and bounce. But at the moment, as we saw in the SPY, we have divergences to the upside, which is good. And if we draw here back, this is it. The Fibonacci level, it rests, so we can push to the 334 again, and then make something like this and moving here. Let's move on to TSLA and make it more quick. Let's clear it up. Let's look at it here. So Tesla make the break for the upside. The 200 is still on the negative. It's, I don't know, because I wrote it for a false break. I want to make it the retest. If it make a retest and then bounce up, this would be a good opportunity. You can see the momentum is positive, which is good. There is no divergence. We could see here the divergence. So this is a move to the upside, which is nice. Where is end zone 181? This was our zone. It closed the gap. So probably a reverse. If we look at it on the 1 hour chart, see this is a strong move to the upside resting, which is good. At the moment, Tesla need to do some reverse to relieve some power. Does it give us any indication? Not yet. It needs to break the 178. So if it closes below this area, could make some reversal. And the reversal would be to the 175 and next target 169. So first in here and then the 169, 170. It doesn't do so at the moment. There is divergence to the downside, but it's very strong at the moment. So let me check something. It probably will try to touch the 182.60 and then reverse. So we are coming up to a strong resistance. So be prepared for the move to the downside. You can see it here also. This is moving down. This is moving up. So reversal is coming. So be prepared. Apple. Apple, very strong. Next target is the 178. Momentum is positive. Started to be a little bit weak. You can see it here. So we prepare for reversal. There is no divergence there. Could make some continuation. I bet some spikes to the ups and down. I don't know if it's a good week to invest in Apple. Maybe day trade. If we look at it on the 1 hour chart, you can see the big sideways move. You can see there is a divergence to the downside, to the upside, sorry guys. So could mean continuation to the 178. If we take the Fibonacci level, you have the zone there. Did it cross? But be prepared. I don't like to trade across. I like to trade the retest and see how it behave. If we look at it on the daily, yeah, see how it looks. It try close gap. It managed to close gap here, and it tried to break, and I think it did. It break this higher. So this is a resistance zone. So be prepared for it. Some people look at it as hand, head, and shoulder. So if you took it there, and this is, let's say, about from the, where it is, from the 125 to the area 155. This is the 30, so maybe 185 area. It wants to reach there. Let me clear it up. If we look at it on the weekly, oh, let me close, sorry. You can see basically it move here, and this is a strong resistance, so be prepared. Did it clear it? Let me check. This is 176.15. I don't think so. Wow, yes. So it clear it. So you have no, but it needs some relief, and many people will wait for the relief. You can see it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See how many candles he did here. So it needs some relief. People will wait for it. But Apple very strong, pushing the market to the upside. NVDA. NVDA is a monster. This is a V shape. I don't know. You're probably gonna see volume going down and going down, going down, because this is too extended to the upside. People will wait for the bounce back. Um, but at the moment, this is the weekly. This is monsters. If you look at it on the daily, it's too extended to the upside. I know it's very strong. You can see the volume here took out lots of stop losses and resting it on Friday. You don't see the sellers coming in. You would expect the sellers to come in, but you can see what it did. It basically hit an area of lots of price action there, but it did nothing. So maybe another second push to the upside and then the release. At the moment, the daily doesn't tell us much. You just have a strong area. This is the break to the upside, and this is you don't see a big volume coming on the selling. So this is just profit taking, which is good, and it's still resting. NVIDIA is a beast. If we go to the 1 hour chart and see if it give us any indication, you have the divergence of continuation, and you see this is the break, this is coming down, and let's see if it holds. If it holds, you have an entry above probably this area for the move to the upside. Some people like to take some Fibonacci level and see maybe a release to the 307 and then coming back to the upside again. Could be interesting. Meta. All right, Meta. Meta again, sideways move, small breaks, coming back in to the area. Momentum seems to be positive. Do we have divergence? I don't know. Don't see any divergence. No to the upside, no to the downside. So it means continuation. You see there is small volume on the 4 hour chart. So this is a small grinding. We have to look at the bigger picture and to see how it looks. Let's go for the weekly. For the weekly, this is the end zone here. This is probably the big gap it left behind. We will examine it on the daily later. So this is a big move to the upside, which is nice. There is no relief yet. This is the one. So probably try to hit and then coming back lower. If we look at it on the daily, you can see the big gap here, which you're trying to close. So you have the key zone, slowly. You have the big gap to the downside, gap here, which is not that good. Not that good at all, so be very careful with it on the longer term. If we look at it on the 1 hour chart, probably the same. Moving forward, the same goes. Divergence to the upside. Um, this is it. So you can see what to do if you want to do it. For our chart, we look at it, nothing much. Let's move to MRNA. MRNA, this is the tricky one. Still continue to the downside, making an attempt to make a divergence. So it needs to break the 130 in order to break divergence and moving to the upside. I will not participate it yet in the long side. You can see momentum started pointing down, negative. So this is the reversal. If we look at it on the, let's look at it on the weekly and see how it goes. not that good at all. Don't like it. Um, on the daily, again, don't like it. And if it breaks the 120, 115, wow, what happened to MRNA? So be very careful with it. Nothing much to say here. If we look at it on the 1 hour chart, let me check something. Maybe a reversal again. I will not, I don't know, I will not trade it. Let's, what else? BA, yeah, BA. BA, continuation on the sideways move. Very boring. I know there is a lot of line because a lot of boringness in this stock. Sideways move, false break, moving to the upside, Maybe it's good for a day trade, not for investment yet. Momentum started to be positive, which is good. Um, there is a gap here. Probably it want to close it and maybe to the upside. Let's look at it on the 1 hour chart. Yeah, there is a small divergence to upside, so probably continuation, and the market will move to the upside. It will continue. Gold, silver, and oil. So this is, come on, gold. Oh, it's taking some time. So gold move to the upside, fake break, immediately push to the downside, and now it's on a reversal mode. We have divergence to the downside, so be prepared. It needs to clear this 188 in order to continue to the upside. Momentum is on the negative side, so be prepared for moving to the 175 area. If we examine the daily, you have the area, this is the 180, and retest on the 175, 178 area. So this is, you have now, this is a big area of price action. So probably if it broke it up, and let's assume this is the line, so it break, retest, coming to the downside. So be prepared for me. This is an okay relief like it did here. So it's okay. Gold is still strong. You can see the 200. This is pointing up, which is good. This is just a relief. Reversal. You can see the big push to the upside, taking some power, bringing the barriers. You can see the volume there and moving to the upside. Probably do the same here. Nothing much. If we look at it on a weekly basis, you can see this is the zone, the 180, 187. It's good. It still has some power. It didn't break. It needs to come to the 50 in order to break to the downside again. But remember, you can see it here. This is a big sideways move from the from August 20. So I don't know if you're following Wyckoff pattern. You can see it here. This is the break, and maybe you can see a continuation to the upside. This is the fake break. Silver. Silver was a good. We could see the break in here, continuation to the downside. So even if you miss the break, this is the big break to the downside at the opening. You can just take it short and enjoy the slowly roll to the downside. You can see momentum is negative, so now we become in a form of relief. There will be a divergence to the downside here for a short continuation. So take it slowly, but surely you can see it how it's resting on the trend. It break it and coming back to retest. So probably gonna see maybe an attempt to coming back inside and then moving to the upside. If we look at it like we did You can see this is the high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and now this is a pattern because it didn't make lower low and it make an higher high. So this is the break coming back inside, so probably gonna see some resting and then see maybe if it wants to continue. So a lot of people will put stop losses here if they entered, so be prepared for it. And let's move for Oxy. Oxy on the weekly, you can see it here, sideways move. If we look at it on the 4-hour chart, try to break, fake break, push to the downside. Momentum is still negative. It's trying to be positive. I'm still thinking for the 54, 53 area. If we look at it on the 1-hour chart, 1, 2, 3, this is the 4, this is the break. A lot of people liked it. So it need to maybe resting in here, making a long continuation and then moving. So let's see, because I don't like this. This is a big candle of a break and immediately push to the downside. So it doesn't give us much. Have to, let me check it here. 2470, this is 23, this is 24. So still no divergence. We have to see if it want to make a move to the downside and then pushing to the upside. At the moment, no indication of it. It's resting on the 50 zone, so probably move to the 58 and then we see. And the longer term, I'm looking at for the short side for this area to hit. So let's sum it up and see how it looks. Where it is, this is the daily. So where we could see the break, the retest, and then moving to the upside, there is a lot of stock in, especially in the Qs, the tech industry, that they're making a long continuation to the upside. But at the moment, there is a lot of resistance coming up ahead. So it will need to take it slowly, make the break, retest, bring the buyers in, lure them in, but there are lots of short order coming back into the market. If we examine it on the weekly basis, you can see there is some gap to close and probably it need the Qs at the moment is the leader. And you could see it here, it make the break, move to the upside, but the short position which the market taking at the moment is very big. So I don't know if they give them the opportunity to lure in all the option buyers, all the call buyers inside, and then it will flash them to the downside and take out all the liquidity and stop losses. Uh, it's too far away, it's too extended, so I will be very cautious. But this is if you already in, it's good for you. If you don't, I will maybe wait a bit for investment, or that rather is something else. You probably enjoy the volatility. So you got your movement, you got your key zone. So I hope you like it and have a good luck, guys. Bye bye.